know how I got it in here through the door, but there it is. I bought this in basically an antique mall where I think they just didn't need it anymore, and they sold it. So there's tape everywhere. I actually had this in my truck without, they're so firmly taped down that I didn't have to take the glass shelves off. I was actually able to transport it exactly like that. And it looks like it's got, oh yes, there's a light. But look at this, it's like come disconnected there. And there's duct tape on it. And there's so many problems with this thing. And it's not new. It's sitting on these sliders right now. But look at it's got the damage. I mean, my dad helped me get this. He kind of located it. He didn't tell me about all the damage on here, but when you slide this around, it like leaves a trail of, you know, splintered pieces of plywood everywhere. But I'm really, really happy to have it, because now that it's here, it means that I finally have a proper home for, well, all of my cars and figures that are waiting to get put somewhere more dignified than this horrible, like, Walmart assembled shelf that came out of a box. And first I got to get all the tape off of it. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And then try to restore as much of it as I can and clean it up really good, and maybe fix the light if the light can be fixed. Get this to at least, it looks okay from a distance, but when you get up close to it, you just see how much work it's going to need. Trying to peel this off. I'm going to be really upset if I peel this tape off and the thing falls apart, because the tape was on here holding it together. Oh. Oh. What a mess. Ah, my foot. Ow. Ugh, I can't fit. Help. Ugh. I mean, the green tape isn't as bad as the silver duct tape, but my God, it's just, I'm so afraid I'm gonna yank something too hard off this thing and it's gonna shatter the glass. Oh, they taped it all the way around. What the? It's like it baked on there. And just getting this on my fingers, the smell, oh, like what is it doing to my skin? And just to show you, if I can squeeze back here, this is so I've got the tape off this shelf mostly. This is what I'm trying to deal with right now, is trying to get, like, look at that. And now, because I've gotten most of the tape off of it, it's now lifting the glass. So I guess I could just try to slide the glass out and clean it outside. I think that's what I might do. Yeah, there's no point in trying to clean it. I mean, I'll just take it out. But I've got to get enough of the tape off that this is the green tape. Oh. At least the green tape comes off and doesn't leave too much residue behind. Yeah. Okay, well, note to people who are obsessed with duct tape. The green tape is at least a little friendlier to glass. The silver stuff is awful, and you should never, ever use it ever again. Okay, dear viewers, I have found my new favorite chemical, which is this orange stuff. Watch this. So there's the glue stuff. There it is without the spray on it. This is with the spray, and just with a towel. It's been sitting for about 5 minutes. Watch. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. I would have never believed that. if someone told me that would work that well. I thought it was just going to be weak sauce. I was going to spray it on there and wait like 10 minutes and come back and it'd be like, just like water. And it's not perfect. There's still a little residue on it, but with a little bit more washing, there are some scratches in the glass, so it's going to take, I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but oh, I'm so delighted with that. I don't know how waterproof this thing is, so I'm kind of going on a wing and a prayer with this method. Well, the instructions on the orange stuff say that you spray it on and you remove the gunk, and then you're supposed to wipe it down with soap and water. So that's what I'm doing. And also because stuff is a nasty chemical, and I don't think it would be a good idea to let it sit on this thing and possibly damage the metal or damage the wood. All this dead bugs in this thing. One of the new problems I'm trying to figure out is this missing screw that clearly belongs screwed into that little piece right there. And this is actually holding the light tube, which runs the whole length of the entire display case all the way to this end. And this screw is missing as well, which really scares me, because if you look at it carefully, you'd see that it's only actually held up on one end by this kind of wire tube right here where the wire runs through, but that on this side, there isn't that wire tube. It's just suspended. So that means that this entire light tube is being held up by one wire tube on that side and one screw over here. And that's not the only thing that I find kind of scary. The other thing is that I've noticed when I looked in here, it actually has the lighting tubes are actually in there. See that the light bulbs are actually in there. And if those are what I think they are, and I'm pretty sure they are, those types of light bulbs usually just snap into place. These kinds of commercial light bulbs, they don't really screw in, they just sort of snap in. So that means that this thing was in my truck. Not only did this light tube not collapse, but not one of the light bulbs that are actually in it fell and smashed on the bottom of the display case. Real stroke of luck. So I really better fix that. The light bulb. I'm afraid to move this to, oh, it's even catching on the glass. Okay, there's one of the fluorescent tube bulbs removed. It actually just popped right out. I'm really lucky that didn't come out in the journey over here. Now I've got a... Oh, I hate Phillips heads. They're so stupid. Who came up with these? Who's Philip? Of course, unless it's exactly the right size, it'll just ruin the screw head. Stupid thing. Okay, it works. The lights work. Confirmed. I cleaned it up and plugged these in, and the switches are right there. but they don't work the way they're supposed to. They're like, I don't know. I turned this one and it fell out. So I don't even know. So the way I'm turning it on and off is I'm just unplugging it. And it's finally done. All the cleaning, all the figures are inside with some of my model cars. I finally got it done. It was a lot of hard work, but here it is. Yeah, I tried to fix the areas where the light was broken over here, but I didn't end up succeeding in getting a screw through there, so I just put everything back together, plugged it in, and wouldn't you know it, it worked with no problem. The light came right on. This type of display case is really meant for commercial purposes, like for stores, you know, like maybe a jeweler or something like that. I was trying to be, I think I was just trying to do something different, and this was found in a, it was found in an antique mall. They were looking to get rid of it, and we got it pretty cheap, so I think it does a really great job of showing off the models and the cars. If I show what it looks like from on the bed, I have to actually sit on the bed because there's not a lot of space in here. But here's what it looks like from a ways back. And you can see that it's very wide. And this isn't small, this thing. And it really does make a really nice display. I'm very happy with it, especially for how inexpensive it was. All it needed was some cleaning. It just needed to be cleaned up, needed to get all that tape off of it. The one problem I can see with it now is that it clearly isn't meant for things like anime figures, which are really, they're kind of meant to be seen head on. I think most of my figures tend to look like either straight out or even slightly down. Like, for example, there's my Izetta. She's one of my favorite figures. I really do love Izetta because I loved the anime so much. And you can see how she kind of just looks downward and to the right. She's not really... So with this kind of display case, I'm going to be standing like at this height, so you can see how you don't see her face. She's meant to be placed on a shelf kind of high up, not really on a display case that's kind of down on the ground. And the same thing goes for most of these figures. There's Ryder, Medusa, and she's kind of angled downwards, and so is Sinon and some of these characters, and there's Asuna. They all kind of look downward. And then the ones on the top shelf, the top row, this kind of light gets in the way here. So you see how I can see them from above, but they aren't looking upwards. They're all looking straight out or kind of downwards. So it's not really ideal for figures, this case. I don't think anime figures were quite what they had in mind when they designed this display case. So it's definitely out of its depth with this particular usage, with this particular use, but I still think that they do look really cool in here. And here's a good view of what this kind of looks like when I kind of hunch down close to the floor. So there's my cars, and if you've seen my other videos, you'll recognize most of these. That's the Wartburg 311, I think that's called, the convertible. So it's like late 50s Most of these cars are from the same basic era, 50s and 60s. The Lloyd Alexander, a car that you probably haven't seen yet, my Mazda 360, which I like very much. And then the Panhard, and of course the Chrysler. And I haven't, I think the Renault and the other Panhard are still in a box somewhere. I had packed up most of my cars because I didn't have anywhere to put them until I got this display case ready. So they need to be put in there as well. And then these are my figures. I still need to do a figure video, but you know, make of this what you will. You can kind of see the types of figures. Mostly I like to do shoujo figures. I'm not really big on shonen, and that's pretty obvious, I guess. And there's Shamsiel up there. She's kind of like one of my favorites ever. I really love Shamsiel. She's like she looks like a little goddess, like one of those little, you know, sitting Buddha statues, except yeah, you wouldn't really want to pray to her. She's a fallen angel. And then over there you have, I think, is it Asada? What's the name of the character from Evangelion and Rey, of course. I mean, I love my Rey figure with her, the raincoats and rain boots. That's what those figures are. So, and some new figures over there, a new Astolfo figure, and got an unboxing with that. But anyway, I still thought you would enjoy taking a look at that. I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy to have it. And I'm so glad it's done. So if you enjoyed this little video, throw a like on there and visit some of my other videos. And I'll see you again later. Bye.